welcome to Nico Heischer's second episode because it's episode 26 and he's 13, so if you times it by 2, it's Nico's episode again. I have two girls chirping. I'm Lauren.
I'm Abby.
And today you might be asking yourself, why are your cups almost empty? That's because we have been so weirdly energized with no train of thought that everything we recorded thus far, we looked at and said, we just need to cold restart.
Yep.
So we're just going to do a second wrap and see if we can keep it together a little bit better.
Fingers crossed, because there's a lot.
We didn't even get into the actual meat of it. We got so sidetracked with my updates and then just gabbing.
Chit-chatting. We tried to talk about Connor McDavid about 20 times.
Three or four, 15 times, give or take.
Yeah.
We just kept getting distracted. So we're going to try and do better this time. Who are we talking about today, Abby, besides Connor McDavid?
We're talking about Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl, the duo of the Oilers.
Welcome to a new segment called Legends. And today's Legends are two of the big ones. Connor McJesus and Leon Draisaitl, my favorite German.
Yeah.
But first and foremost, this week's theme is underdogs. Who's our underdogs this week? The Blackhawks, of course. They decided to show up and show out and beat the Flyers 7-4 on Sunday. We're recording this at like a weird time, so just bear with me on the updates, okay? Because it's my weekend to work, so everything's just a little thrown off.
Maybe that's why we're so all over the place.
Yeah, I think
like
also
Thursday.
I've been like pounding caffeine at work because I haven't been sleeping very well and I feel like a bit hungover today. So like my brain's kind of just like, if you will. But I'm trying to be like, focus, lock in.
Yeah.
So we're gonna fake it till we make it.
Yeah.
Speaking of faking it until we make it, Buffalo beat the Jets also, which was such a hot take.
Insane.
And then they beat the Senators too. So I'm like, Sabres to the playoffs? Anyone?
That would actually be pretty crazy.
Can you imagine the arch?
I've talked a
From like
lot
the
of
worst
shit.
win streak to playoffs in the same
That'd be
season.
crazy.
I would love it. Petition. But also, can Connor Bedard come join them? Just for the series.
Not to Buffalo.
Just for the series. Just
Anywhere
for the series.
else. Just come to Carolina.
Taylor Hall had his first hat trick with the Canes. Pop off.
Yes.
He is, we talked about it last week. I'm just so happy with him. I
Me
feel
too.
like several of the teams that I cheer for actually did very well with the trades this season.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty happy.
Yeah. Outside of the ranting of it all, I am glad that we got Taylor Hall out of that whole situation.
I feel like we traded something that wasn't working for two players that are working really well.
Yeah.
So hopefully that'll continue.
Yeah.
Swayman almost got into a fight, which is the
They
most
should have
action.
let him.
And then Zadarov, I think it was, they're trying to make it out like he's got some issue with Swayman. There was like a weird interview afterwards where he was being kind of passive aggressive about Swayman. I'm not going to really play into that. I'm just going to throw that out there. If you got beef with Jeremy Swayman, that means to me you've got beef with his girlfriend, and I really like her TikTok. So if you got beef with them, you got beef with me. Let's just all be friends, okay? That's all I want to say about it. Also, why didn't we just let them fight, you know?
I just think that goalie fights don't happen often, so just let them.
Fair enough. I have two separate notes on Tortorelli. My first one was from earlier in the week when I summarized, even Tortorelli is over this Flyers season. And then in all caps, today, Tortorelli is fired.
Yeah.
Good luck at your next job. Maybe, you know what, I am going to be a little bit bitchy. Maybe we should learn a little bit different coaching tactics since the old school ones are not working.
Do you want me to share the exact quote that he gave?
If it'll make you happy, yes.
2 days before he was fired after a loss, blah, blah, blah. I'm not really interested in learning how to coach in this type of season that we're in right now, but I have to do a better job. He goes on. That's the main clip that everybody's been pulling for the past 48 hours before he was fired.
Well, I mean,
like, he's literally given up on this team.
And it's not just this season.
No.
It hasn't been working for a while.
No,
I feel like they
hasn't.
gave him more than enough grace to turn it around with the team, and he didn't. So, you know what?
Yeah.
Better luck wherever you end up, and maybe the Flyers will have a better season next season.
I'm not a Torts fan.
Personally, it's not my style. But then, like, Shelton Keefe calling out specific players and saying they need to play better is very much not my style. And I did not care for that at all.
Yeah, that was crazy.
You know,
him
hasn't done
straight
that?
up calling out Kovacevic.
Rick Tocchet.
Tocchet hasn't. Hey.
Also, Rob. Rob would never. Rob might, but Rob would never.
Rob would call him out in front of the team, but not in the press.
Yeah, that was not a good look.
That's not a good way to handle it. And I understand, too, that it was...
heated.
Yeah, it was right after a game. And then that was before the Vancouver game, too, right?
Yeah.
And then Kovacevic had 3 penalties in the Vancouver game. Yeah.
First of all, that's the Who's a Palooza you were referencing.
AKA
the Hughes Bowl. I've got a couple more notes, and then we can dive into that.
Oh, okay.
Ovi is only 6 goals away. He's got an 889 now.
We're getting real close.
We're getting incredibly close, but not as close as I was to ascending to heaven when Quinn Hughes won the Hughes a Palooza on
Shout out
Tuesday.
Shout out to whoever commented. I think it was on TikTok.
It was.
The Hughesapalooza, because...
That's so cute.
Oh, it's engraved in my brain, and then it's no longer the Hughes Bowl. It is always Hughesapalooza. It's so much more fun to say.
Everyone was playing very aggressively the whole game. It was one of the best games I've seen. It was so fun to watch. I was on the edge of my seat. On the edge of that seat right there, actually. And regular time, great. I don't do well with overtime because I just don't like it. I like the first one. I hate a shootout. Shootouts make me, sorry Mike, very, very nervous. I don't like it. So they went to overtime, and I text because Connor Garland scored and tied the game 3-3, I believe, with I think it was a minute to go, maybe less. For some reason I want to say 54 seconds, but I might be tripping. Just historically speaking, sometimes I'm a bit off. He tied it. We go to overtime. I text Abby, who called it at the second period. She wanted to watch it remotely from her room.
I did.
Fair enough. So walk with me here. We're down 1 goal. Connor Garland scores an absolute beaut. I go silently so as not to wake the old lady of the house. And then 2 seconds later, she texts me, Connor Garland tied the game! After I have been silently cheering and freaking out for the entirety of the third period.
It wasn't so silent because I did hear, oh, no, multiple times.
Yeah. So I texted her and was like, I'm not staying up for overtime. I'll stay up for and then I was like, I'll just stay up for a minute because normally in overtime, someone scores with a quickness or it's just no one is playing super aggressively. So it's just going to end up in a shootout anyways. While they were playing very aggressively, bam, the first overtime is done. We're in a shootout. I text her again. I say, I am not staying up for a shootout because I honestly thought the Devils were going to win. But psych, because we won. And then there was peace among the land. I told everyone at work, no one watches hockey, including my patients. Nobody cared, but I cared a lot. So everyone has been notified, friends, family, patients, coworkers,
I
strangers.
also told my coworkers. They're like, okay.
I was like, you don't understand the cultural significance. They've only won one time previously. And now the significance of him winning this after the season he's had. This is what I think a Stanley Cup would feel like. I can't describe the amount of joy I felt.
I love that.
But the only thing that was missing to me was a pan shot to Jack sitting up in the injured player section looking hella depressed. That's the only thing that I wanted to see that they didn't deliver on.
Yeah. I personally wanted Ellen Hughes to come out and take a penalty shot, but
no. Hey. I mean, she could have taken Luke's. He did not.
Look, we support the Hughes family. That's no surprise to anybody, but they cannot do shootouts. They're not good at shootouts. They're not good at penalty shots.
I was texting.
I've never seen them score on one.
Yeah, but that was the Hughes of it all. The only other thing I have, well, that's a lie. Gully is back practicing and traveling.
He is.
Welcome back to the villa. We'll be back for playoffs, where we hopefully will be. And you know who else is going to be there? The Jets. They got confirmed. Yeah. Everyone's surprised. Where did that come from?
I'm shocked.
The Jets going to the playoffs this season?
That's crazy.
Wow. Is there anything
I
you
do
want?
wonder at some point, there's still a handful of games left for the Jets. Do they just give up? Like,
Do they
rest
just put
up?
out their,
just
do
like
they change lines and make it like other,
just
I don't
like
want to
rest
say,
up for the playoffs?
yeah.
Probably
like,
not.
Give their
I
stars
assume
a couple
no,
days
but
off. I would assume no too, but
hey.
this is my first season as a hockey fan.
I actually, while you were talking about Gooley being back, have you seen all this stuff about Gabriel Landeskog actually practicing with the team again?
Yeah.
In the past, 2 weeks?
Mm-hmm.
I saw somewhere, now let me be very clear, I do not expect him to ever play another NHL game. Ever. But I saw somebody say that his show that he's got that's releasing weekly, the last episode comes out the day before playoffs begin. And they're like, that last episode's going to come out and he's going to be playing the next day in the playoffs. I do not believe that for a second. I feel like that's a bit of a reach.
I feel like that would be a horrible decision for him who hasn't played competitive hockey in years and then be like, good luck in the playoffs. That would be horrible. Unless they did it and he popped off. And then I'll have to eat my words. But I still think, never mind.
I'd love to eat my words. I would love to be wrong, but I'm also a bit realistic when it comes to him. Not in any other aspect of my life, but I don't know.
We'll see.
That's all. No, you're good.
I do have a non-hockey related one for our F1 girlies. Liam Lawson has been removed from Red Bull after 2 failures of a race, and Yuki is finally in the Red Bull.
Finally.
Years overdue when he should be in the Red Bull.
Yeah.
So I cannot wait for this next race. I'm stoked.
I really hope that he pops off.
If he gets points, I will be so obnoxious about it.
He's been getting points in a V-carb.
That's the thing. It boggles me.
Consistently.
Is there anything else? That was much better.
Yeah.
Okay. I feel
that was
centered.
only
Do you feel
13
centered?
minutes. I feel
13's my lucky number.
Cole Caulfield.
Don't call me up.
Nico Heiser.
Is Cole Caulfield number 13?
Yeah, well, he's always been 22, and
Yeah.
then when Johnny passed, he changed his number to 13, which was Johnny's number.
I'm October 13th. That's the reason it's my lucky number.
He still writes 2s on his stick, though, because that's the nickname that Johnny Gaudreau gave him.
He's so cute.
I know.
And I mean that in I would protect that man.
Yeah.
Don't be mean to him. That's my
Take
boy.
it up with me. Okay.
Take it up with his fist. That's all the notes I have.
I only have a few. Literally, as soon as we finished recording, it was announced that Pat Maroon would be retiring at the end of the season.
Yeah.
Which is crazy. That's the first champions on this list. He dropped it in a pregame interview.
Yeah, he did.
Before the St. Louis game, which he's from St. Louis, so all of his family
Yeah.
was at that game and everything too, which makes sense.
I don't blame him. If I was a Blackhawks player, I'd be retiring too.
Yeah.
Get me out of here.
Yeah, you know what? Retirement sounds pretty nice.
You know what? This sucks.
I have a couple things about him. Do you remember when we talked about Tampa and a player dropped the Stanley Cup and dented it?
Nope.
Oh, well, that was him.
Lovely.
He is the 4th player in NHL history to win 3 consecutive Stanley Cups with 2 different teams. Because he won his first one with St. Louis, the first Stanley Cup that the Blues won ever. Mm-hmm. And then went to Tampa, won in 2020 and 2021.
He did his, hey guys, I'm retiring. And then one of my favorite things about the NHL is if you played for them for a while and you're playing, it doesn't matter that you're on a different team. They always are like, welcome back, such and such, blah, 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 with a little highlight reel. And right after he announced it, right after he said, he did his pregame interview, whatever, they're doing warm-ups or whatever. And the announcer goes, once a Blue, always a Blue. Welcome back, Patrick Maroon. And I about cried.
I am.
It just hit me so hard.
Okay, one more thing about Patrick Maroon that I actually didn't know, or at least I didn't remember that I knew. Mm-hmm. Back in 2022, a commentator made comments about his weight during a game broadcast.
Kick rocks.
Yeah. And then Pat Maroon donated $2,000 to a Tampa Bay charity supporting body image struggles and mental health problems.
Clap back.
So we stand Pat Maroon.
I stand the Lightning team. I just feel like I just like their charitable work.
Yeah. I like them.
All right. Is there anything else we need to talk about?
The Montreal Victoire are the first PWHL team to secure a playoff spot. Nobody should be surprised at that.
I'm not.
I'm not either. At all. But it was confirmed. That's like the Jets getting a playoff spot. Wow, crazy.
This is shocking.
It would have been insane if they didn't. Mm-hmm. And then, since we already talked about college hockey,
I was about to say,
the Women's College National Championship.
I want you to just do exactly how you told it to me, because it was cinema.
Well, I sent you a video. Coach Jackie J on TikTok did an incredible recap with music and everything. And that, if you want a cinematic thing, that was it. But if you just want the highlights,
we reposted it.
It's Ohio State and Wisconsin who have faced each other in the championship twice. Ohio State 1-1, Wisconsin 1-1. The first period, they score goals back-to-back to each other within 12 seconds of each other, which is pretty insane. And then right before the period ends, Ohio scores a second goal, so it ends 2-1. The second period, they come out. Ohio scores again, and then Wisconsin, very late, also scores, so they go into the third period 3-2. With 20 seconds left in the game, nobody has scored. It's still 3-2. 20 seconds left. Wisconsin has taken a shit ton of shots at the net. None of them go in. Play stops with 18.9 seconds left in the game. Players are yelling at the coach to challenge the play because apparently an Ohio player kept the puck out of the net with their hand while in the crease. And you can't do that.
That's a foul.
Foul! So the challenge was successful because it was very blatant. She grabbed it, pulled it to her, and they got a penalty shot. Now, their head coach, Mark Johnson, was actually a part of the Miracle on Ice team. You can see him on the bench. They're all crowded around before the penalty shot, and he literally just asks who wants it, like who wants to take this shot. And Kirsten Sims puts her hand up.
That's our queen right there.
Now, apparently, the whole team was kind of bullying her into it.
They weren't bullying.
Is very light. They were like, you've got to take it. You've got to take this penalty shot. So she volunteered as tribute. And she volunteered
under duress.
Under duress. And she wins the penalty shot. She scores. So they're tied, and they go into overtime. Just under 3 minutes into overtime, Wisconsin is on a rush. Kirsten Sims scores again to win the game, so Wisconsin won the championship. And it was beautiful. Cinema, chills. It was great.
It was great.
Highly recommend going and watching it.
So freaking cool.
I love it.
Especially given their history.
Yeah, especially because they were down the majority of the game, and then with like 20 seconds left, they tied it.
Yep.
Oh,
I got chills again.
I loved it. It's like, man, that's good.
That's some good stuff.
That's some good stuff. So that's all the recaps I have.
I had like the worst intrusive thought before the Hughes Bowl. I was terrified that Luke Hughes was going to get hurt, to the point I prayed for him. I prayed for his safety. I'm not even joking. I'm like, please, this can't happen.
I need people to not get injured.
He did it.
Once we finished recording 2 on Saturday, I pull up. I was at an engagement party, but I pulled up the score of the Canes game, and I look. Jordan Stahl out, Ghosty out. Obviously, Svechky's out. I said, "What is going on here?"
Seth.
Yeah, and Seth left the game with a head injury. I was like, y'all need to
what
stop.
the hell?
Apparently, Ghosty and Stahl just had like a bug. I think they had the flu going around.
Yeah, the flu's running.
But I didn't know that. I was like, are you kidding me? No.
Well, I was worried Seth was actually hurt.
Yeah.
I couldn't tell whether he had his back or his head.
It looked like both. He looked a bit dazed, but he played it in the next game. That being said, it doesn't mean he didn't like get a head injury, but he's playing through it if he did.
I can just see them being like holding a Red Bull and being like, if you tell me where you're at right now, you get a Red Bull. Where are you at right now?
Where are you at?
Who's the president? What's your birthday? Just doing a neuro exam.
Who are you?
Hey, right here. Follow the Red Bull.
It's like a baby trying to get pictures of here.
Look at me. Big smiles. We're fine. Everything's fine.
Yeah. You're good. You can go back out.
That's what I heard. Okay, let's dive in.
Okay, Connor McDavid.
Yes, let's talk about our Lord.
Okay, first let's talk. I only have a couple points. His parents, Brian and...
He's got some? Love.
Yeah, the first time we tried to record it, I said, so he's got 2 parents.
Shocking.
Crazy.
Shocking information. Really explains a lot about him.
His parents, Brian and Kelly McDavid. Brian played high school hockey, but never past that point. Kelly is just Kelly.
Kelly is
Queen
Queen Kelly.
They're very private, which
That makes a lot
like
of sense.
completely valid. They're married still to this day, which I love. I'll talk about Lauren Kyle McDavid, his wife. They did get married last summer. I literally have it right here.
On the Amazon show, they were just engaged, I believe.
Yes.
But now they're married.
Yes.
I really love them.
I
love how they were portrayed.
Love them and Leon and his
Girlfriend.
Fiance for sure.
Significant other.
I like their little foursome.
Yeah, me too.
They're so adorable. Okay, Lauren is an interior designer. She launched Kyle & Co. Design back in 2019.
Big facts.
Their house tour on Architect Digest kind of became a joke, a meme, because it is so empty in that house. Like, it's not my style.
They said there will be no stimulation in this household.
Color?
It will be
no.
empty and blank, just like we want our brains to be when we're at home relaxing.
Hey, maybe that's a... I don't know. Look, it's not my style, but I know that a lot of people like that type of style. I'm just not one of them.
Yeah, I'm not trained. Look at what we got rocking.
I will say I love the fashion stuff that she's done.
Yeah,
So
same.
she recently launched Sports Club Atelier. It's a clothing brand.
Couldn't tell you.
They designed the WAG jackets for 4 nations for Team Canada and Team Sweden.
I didn't like the Team USA ones. I don't remember what the other ones. I know. That's just the only ones I remember because I was like...
I didn't like USA or Finland. I liked Sweden and Canada's.
Good job, Lauren.
Good job, girl. And she's also planning to open a new bar in downtown Edmonton.
Well, consider me a subscriber.
They were introduced by her cousin, who is also a former teammate of Connor.
Oh.
They were set up on a blind date in 2016 when she was 19 and Connor was 18.
Oh, stop it.
So she actually told a story with Kate Ellis at 4 Nations. Kate interviewed some of the WAGs ringside, which was honestly super cool. She tells the story about how Connor was technically underage, so Lauren had to use her ID to buy a bottle of wine for them on their date.
Yeah.
Which I think is so funny.
I think that's so cute.
They've been together ever since. They got engaged in 2023 and married last year, which was featured in Vogue. That wedding was beautiful. No notes. I love those little umbrella things.
Yeah. That was gorgeous. The Forsberg wedding, gorgeous.
Yeah.
They know how to throw a wedding.
Yeah. Poulin had the umbrellas at their wedding too.
Yes. Oh, I loved them. I loved their wedding.
So, Leon Draisaitl and Darnell Nurse were some of the groomsmen in that, which I also
can't even
love.
imagine the Bachelor's. He has got the most interesting little friend group.
Right? Because he's so introverted and quiet, at least in the media. I really want to know what he's like.
It seems like he's just in his head for real. Yeah. Like, even the documentary, I kind of was like, honey, be sweet to yourself.
I was like, oh, should we see someone?
I think he is.
Should we see someone else?
No, I think he's fine.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. No, I get what you're saying, though.
But then he's got, like, freaking Leon Draisaitl, who is just, he's so German.
He's so German.
I love.
Which Leon's fiance was also a bridesmaid in their wedding as well.
I just think it's so cute that they're so bonded they even got injured together.
I know.
Best friends.
They said, if you're not playing, why would I?
So where you go, I go.
Speaking
where you
of,
stay, I stay.
They're week to week, I believe now, both of them. And I don't think they're supposed to play this week, but maybe next week when this episode comes out, they'll be playing again. I don't know. We'll see. I think truly they should just wait until they make the playoffs.
Yeah, they should just do it like football does it. Save your stars until the playoffs.
Yeah.
Put the rookies out.
Unless they're teetering the line, which I don't think
Well, the only two that are confirmed going are the Capitals and the Jets. So I think it's a bit like the Wild is dangling on missing out on playoffs now, and they deserve to go. Like, let Fleury go. Let Brock go. They want to go to playoffs. Let them go.
Fleury go.
Please. Please.
I don't know
please,
who needs to be
please.
sacrificed for Flower to be in the playoffs.
I'll sacrifice myself.
I volunteer as tribute, yeah. Okay. So Connor, right?
Mm-hmm.
A Capricorn. I did look up star signs.
Dang, that makes so much sense, actually.
Born January 13th.
13th! Wow. This might be Connor's episode, my bad.
1997. This is literally Connor's
a year
episode.
before me.
Oh, I know. I get what you meant now.
The number thing is what I was alluding to or referencing.
Oh, yeah. He's 28.
28 sounds great.
Period. He began playing hockey at 3 years old.
Exactly.
On rollerblades in their basement and played organized hockey at 4 years old. His parents lied so that he could play with the 5-year-olds. He got caught at age 6 and forbidden from doing that.
You have been forbidden.
So instead, he enrolled in a different hockey program with older kids at age 6 years old. His parents said that they thought he would be bored out of his mind to be playing in like a house league with kids his age. Update, they were correct. His father actually coached the organized team that he played for, and he won 4 Ontario Minor Hockey Association championships.
That tracks.
Yeah. He also played Pee-wee tournaments with Sam Bennett.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Sam, what are you doing here?
What are you doing here?
He's one of my favorite Sams, too.
And around 14 years old, he already had the eyes of all the media, the NHL on him, kind of acknowledging that he was going to be something great.
That's just so much pressure to put on a kid.
It's insane.
That kind of stuff I hate. I hate it for them.
Yeah, and it honestly explains a lot about how he talks about himself. Like the pressure that he seems to put on himself. Mm-hmm. Also at 14, he changed to the OHF, which was a different league and team because he wanted to play more competitive, and that's really what got all the eyes on him, was playing in that league. He lost a lot of friends with that move, but you know what he didn't lose?
That's because teenagers are douches.
Yeah, you know what he didn't lose? Talent.
His winning abilities?
Yeah, because he won the GTHL Player of the Year. At this point, he was 13, 14 again. Mm-hmm. He was deemed a phenom of hockey.
I would never shut up about that.
It's actually insane. Then he left home being deemed an exceptional status by the OHL, which means they can get drafted at a younger age. So at 15 years old, he left home to go play in the OHL.
15?
His mom tells a story about how when he was 13 or 14, he decided, oh, this is what I want to do. I'm going to get this exceptional status. I'm going to go play. And she said, you're not leaving like your mom and your house to go play hockey. And he said, are you going to stop me?
And she said, nar.
Nar.
He said, I'm going to call your bluff. I'm going to do me and I'm going to live my life.
I got to put me first.
I think both are valid concerns as a mother to a cat. If he decided young he wanted to leave me to go be a phenom of any given sport, I would also be like, you sure, Marla?
I would just move with, I think.
Well, yeah, 100%. I would. If they wanted me to. If they wanted me to leave them alone, I'd be like, all right. Call me when you want to see me. Love you.
Call me, beat me if you want to reach me.
I'm going to keep sending you memes.
His rookie year in the OHL. 2013 through 14 was his rookie OHL year. He won the William Hanley Trophy for the most sportsmanlike player, the Bob Smith Trophy for the Scholastic Player, and Rookie of the Year. All in his first season.
I think that's fair.
Yeah.
That's a good little collection to start.
The next year, which was his draft year, he won both the OHL and Canadian Hockey League Player of the Year. He won MVP of the playoffs, just regular Player of the Year, the second straight Scholastic Player, and he scored 120 points.
Gosh.
44 goals, and had a plus 60 rating.
Woo! Yep.
Yep.
Ladies and gentlemen,
so he actually, in this same period of time, won 2 gold medals with World Juniors in 2013 and 2015 as well.
My God.
let's go back to the OHL for one more bullet point. He left junior hockey the most decorated player in OHL history.
Yeah.
An honor he still holds to this day.
I love that for him.
Went to the pre-draft combine, popped off. It was obvious he was going to be the number 1 pick. He was drafted first overall by the Oilers in 2015. That draft class goes so hard, actually.
Cool.
If you ever hear like the McDavid draft class, Jack Eichel,
Ooh.
Dylan Strome,
Nice.
Mitch Marner,
Love
Zach
him.
Werenski,
Yeah.
Timo Meyer,
Ooh.
Mikko Rantanen, Jake DeBrusk, Matt Barzal,
Yeah.
Brock Bozer,
Yeah.
Jack Roslovic, like all of those.
They're all still playing too.
Yeah, and
That
there's
is
so many more.
stacked.
There's
Almost said a
so
stacked cast. You know what I will? That's a stacked
It's a stacked cast.
That season of NHL popped the hell off.
Yeah, that's actually something I want to rewatch.
Subscribe.
Smash a like. So he was hyped up majorly going into the NHL. It was kind of insane, but you know what? He actually lived up to the hype.
Thank God.
And then surpassed it some more. He became the face of the Oilers franchise before even his first game.
And he still is.
Yeah. Truly. His rookie season, though, it just 13 games in, he suffered a fractured clavicle and missed 37 games. But he's still
37 for a clavicle?
I don't know what a clavicle is. Collarbone, right? I mean, you can't really shoot.
I mean, you get surgery on that, you're good to go in like a week.
Also, I don't know if you've noticed, you probably haven't. Under his pads, he's got a shirt that's got like weird plates right here that someone gave him after that injury, and he still just like wears it today. It's got like extra.
I love that man. I love that man.
Yeah. He only ended up playing 45 games that rookie season, but he still had 48 points. And in a February game versus Toronto, he actually had a 5-point game with 2 goals and 3 assists to win 5-2.
Yeah. He's good.
Yeah, I would say so.
Have you heard of him before, or is this your first time
It's actually
diving
my
into
first
him?
time.
Yeah, he's
pretty crazy.
You're gonna want to remember that name. It's gonna come back a little bit
Crazy.
from time to time.
Okay, I'll write that down. His second season was when the McJesus nickname was really born.
I'm very
think
excited
it's
to hear
so
the origin
funny.
of it because I think it's hilarious.
Well, there's not like a distinct origin. They were just like, McJesus.
Who?
The fans. It was just a fan base. Like, it started somewhere and it just caught on and it's still going today. I love it
I love it.
so much. He was named captain prior to his second season in the NHL. The youngest NHL captain in history at just 19 years old.
Your captain's age ends in ager.
Do you want to know who the second? Gabriel Landeskog.
Okay.
He was just 20 days older. Also, his second season, he had 100 points just in his second season, which is kind of crazy. 30 goals, 70 assists. He won the Hart Memorial Trophy for MVP.
Yeah.
He also won the Ted Lindsay Award.
Yep.
And he led the Oilers to playoffs for the first time since 2006, alongside Leon Draisaitl. They really became a power duo at this point in time.
Yeah.
I want to say this was Leon's first season as well.
I was wondering about their age gap because I thought they were about the same age.
Leon is either a year or 2 older.
But he was already playing for... Never mind. I'm sure you'll tell me.
Yeah, I'll tell you about it. I got you, girl. So just some high points. In 2017, he signed an 8-year, $100 million extension, which is up at the end of this season.
Do we think they're going to renew?
No way.
Do you think if he left the Oilers, his choice, of course, where do you think he would go? Where could you see him going? Any other teams? What other team?
I started to say Calgary, but as a joke. That's their biggest rival.
The Flames.
I have literally no idea.
Let us know where you think if Leon and Connor left, what team you think they would be a good fit for.
They would have to go together.
I think they'd go to the Lightning.
I was going to say like Dallas or Winnipeg.
They would look really cute in the Winnipeg jerseys.
I don't think
Everyone looks
they'd
cute
go to
in
another
those.
Canadian team.
I honestly was basing Tampa Bay
You
off
know,
of the philanthropic work. And
I'd
the
be
good vibes.
fine with Tampa Bay because I feel
They're
like
not
they
Florida
need some
players.
sunshine.
No, I feel like they would. No, they're Canadian and German. They're gonna stay up north to the Maple Leafs. Then, just kidding.
Oh, you've convinced me.
Maybe
Dude,
the Jets.
the Maple Leafs with Draisaitl, McDavid, Matthews, Nylander, Marner.
If we had to sacrifice one of the big four to get Connor and Leon, which one would you sacrifice?
Bye, Austin. Sorry, not sorry.
I'd have to
because
I'd have to do
McDavid's
the same.
getting the C.
Yeah, I'd have to do the same. And I can't separate Nyes and Wool. What if that makes him depressed and then he can't perform like a good goalie because his wife is gone?
I'm just thinking about the Maple Leafs with Draisaitl and McDavid in my brain. Can't comprehend.
On guard, we stand for thee.
We stand on guard for thee.
Canada.
Looks like we're going to Toronto. Wow, where was I?
He led them to the
I was in
playoffs
Toronto
for the first
in my
time since
dreams.
2006, I believe.
Oh yeah, he signed that $100 million extension, which is insane.
Get that bag.
He's just continued to be great in the 2020-2021 season with just 56 games due to COVID.
Yeah.
He had 105 points, almost 2 points per game, which is insane. He was unanimously, he unanimously won the Hart Memorial Trophy only the second time. The first was Wayne Gretzky, another Oilers player.
You might need to remember that name too if you haven't heard it before.
Yeah, you ever heard of Wayne Gretzky?
It's kind of a big one.
It's kind of crazy if you hadn't.
You could call him one of the big three.
Yeah, you could call him the greatest player in NHL history and be accurate.
I don't really think a lot of people would argue that.
No. He also won the Ted Lindsay that season as well.
Yeah, that tracks.
The following season, he had 123 points, including 33 points in playoffs.
God.
So just 16 games, he had 33 points. Insane behavior. And then last season, he became the 5th fastest player in NHL history to reach 900 points in just 602 games. Kind of crazy.
He's just so good.
He's so good. He had a total of 132 points. He only played 76 games last year. They went to the playoffs. It pains me to recap playoffs, so I'm only going to hit a couple notes. He became the first player in 26 years to have 5 assists in a single playoff game in round 1 versus Vegas. He had 42 points in the playoffs, the 3rd highest of any player ever. The number 1 would be Gretzky. Number 2 is Lemieux. Love.
Mario.
He won the Conn Smythe, but he did not go out to accept the award because, as we know, the Panthers won the Cup.
He was pissed.
I don't blame him at all.
No, I think that is such a humane reaction.
Yeah.
I love it.
I actually liked in the Amazon series when he's told, oh, you won the Conn Smythe, then he goes like, do you want me to go out and get it? Like, no.
Like, can you leave me alone?
Like, dude, I am choking back tears right now. I'm actually about to fully crash out.
Oh, I loved him.
Yeah.
I was like, leave him alone. Someone bring him his trophy.
Yeah, it's a real shame that he's never won a cup yet.
It's so weird to think about.
Insane to me. Yeah. This season,
he's got a couple cups, the Maple Leafs.
Them to Montreal. What if they go to Montreal? They've got more than a couple cups.
They got some extras for you.
They've got some extras. Just take one home. Try it out.
They can fill up a dishwasher.
Yeah. Hand wash only. This season, he scored his 1,000th career point. The 4th fastest in NHL history.
He's 28?
Mm-hmm. Yep. He also scored the tournament-winning goal for Four Nations for Team Canada, which was
he did.
a beauty. Ooh, 8 minutes and 18 seconds into overtime.
Who was it assisted by? Was it not assisted by Sidney Crosby?
It was! Oh my gosh, it was! I was like, I should know this!
Which symbolized the passing of the torch to the new generation. Oh my
Now
God, that
I'm the
Four
one.
Nations delivered so much.
Oh, it was so good. Oh, he is currently injured. It's going to be a minute. We're gonna find out. I'm scared. He'll be back if they go to playoffs for sure. Even if he's half alive, he won't be back.
Dear God.
He'll be on the bench with an oxygen mask, but he'll take it off when it goes out on ice. That took a turn.
Okay.
A lot of his statistics, if you didn't catch on, have been compared to Wayne Gretzky's, partially because they both played for the Oilers, but also because they are both just incredible players. And, like, he is the
They're
Wayne
insane.
Gretzky of this generation of hockey. There's no questioning that
Yeah.
at all. Gretzky in total had 1,669 points with the Oilers, and McDavid is sitting at 1,072. So give it a few years.
He's only 28, too.
Yeah.
He's still got, God willing, a couple years in him.
Yeah.
I mean,
Overall,
Brett Burns is 40, and he's still playing.
Brent Burns is built different, though.
Yeah.
That man is built like a... Why was the first thought that I had a tornado shelter?
I can see that.
Yeah.
Sturdy, dependable, always there, especially in emergencies.
Yeah.
Fortified.
Fortified.
Anything else on McJesus?
Yes, he has won 5 Art Ross trophies. He won the Rocket Richard in 2023, and he's also won 4 Ted Lindsay trophies. He has been very involved in Edmonton's Indigenous culture or community and has even raised $85,000 to help Indigenous children play sports.
An ally.
Yes.
knew
My favorite thing about Connor McDavid and Lauren McDavid is the way that they treat their dog. I love their dog.
Yeah.
Leonard, aka Lenny. That is their child and also their prized possession, and you cannot convince me otherwise. He has been to games. He has participated in like the intermission-esque games. They have portraits of him in their home. I love it. I love it so much.
It's like Lewis's dog.
It is like Roscoe.
It is exactly like Roscoe. For those of you who don't know, Lewis Hamilton is the winningest F1 driver of all time. He is the best to ever do it.
And don't you forget it.
And don't ever speak on it in a negative light, or I will find you.
Yeah.
But he's not married, no kids, has a dog named Rocky. No.
Roscoe.
I was like, ooh, the words coming out of my
It is
mouth
Roscoe.
are incorrect. He's got a dog named Roscoe that comes to the games, travels with him everywhere. He gets like his own PR because he's like well known in the paddock. He's got his own Instagram. He's so cute. He goes everywhere with
I haven't
Lewis.
seen Roscoe yet this season. We're 2
He
races
had him,
in.
He had him out at the last one.
Okay, so
In
I
China.
love it.
Because he had a cute new harness.
Aw.
Next.
Yeah, I love the way that athletes bring their pets everywhere.
Me too. I'm like, how do I get a job as like the pet au pair
Yeah.
for a team?
Like a nanny.
For like a couple. Yeah.
I'd love it. Okay. To Leon,
To Leon.
his wife, Leon Draisaitl. So, I've said it.
His other half.
His other half. Yeah. So, again, where Connor's pretty introverted and quiet and reserved, Leon is very sassy, very outspoken, and has absolutely destroyed some media personnel in press conferences. I wrote down...
When they deserve it.
Yeah, I wrote down some of my favorite quotes. Because why not? Never forget when he told them, like, oh, we have to get better at everything. And a reporter said, would you like to expand on that? Nope.
Yep.
Also, when a reporter said, these international flights are killing us old guys, and he simply responded with, I don't feel sorry for you.
Yeah.
Which was iconic.
I remember that one.
And then you should remember this one too. Why are you so pissy, Leon? I gave you an answer. Not a very good one. Okay. Live, laugh, love. we stand.
I swear Jack Hughes looks at him and is like, how can I do that?
Yeah. First
Well,
of
I can't
all, I'm
stand here
5'11".
and relive the glory days with you. Damn.
I'd love to relive the glory days with you, but I wasn't alive. Yeah.
I love the compilation videos of Leon's
Yeah.
best one-liners.
Oh,
if you
it's
will.
so good. There's so many of them. And the thing is, I don't even think he registers that that's what's... Or I don't even think he
cares.
realizes that it's coming across that way. I think he's just like, this is just I gave you an answer. Like, what do you want from me?
I love it.
It's very German. I love it.
It's just blunt and to the point and honest.
Yeah. So they have very different, not approaches, but ways that they got to the NHL. Peter and Sandra are Leon's parents. Peter played 18 seasons of professional hockey in Germany. He participated in the 88, 92, and 98 Winter Olympics against Wayne Gretzky, which is kind of...
How did that go?
I don't think Germany won them, but it went... I think Canada probably won those. He's also been head coach of various different teams from 2000 to 2023 in Czech and Germany. He became a sports manager in 2022 and is still there now. So he does the hockey. He very much played hockey and was in the hockey world, whereas McDavid's parents weren't necessarily.
Yeah.
So
crazy that they created a freaking prodigy.
It is, isn't it?
Yeah.
I actually have a quote from his dad that was giving Papa Stroll vibes.
Tell me.
So post the Stanley Cup final, or post them making the Stanley Cup final, his dad spoke to NHL.com in Germany, and they were like, "Oh, aren't you proud? Like, are you so excited?" And he said, "Everyone in the family, his friends and acquaintances are very happy for him. We are also proud, but not just because he has made it to the Stanley Cup final. We've been proud for many years. That doesn't just change because he's now achieved great sporting success."
Ooh.
It's like, oh.
That would make me cry on a different day.
I was like, that's just very sweet. That's honestly a great response.
For those of you who don't know, Papa Stroll is reference to Lawrence Stroll in Formula One. Mm-hmm. He is a McBillionaire. He's a Canadian McBillionaire at that. And he bought a Formula One team for his son, who is not a good Formula One driver at all. But he wanted to support his son's dream of continuing to be a Formula One driver, so he bought a team. Mm-hmm. And in the 2 seasons ago in Drive to Survive, they finally convinced him to basically like be in the show. And we're asking him, stupid, typical questions. How do you feel about yourself? Blah, 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 blah. And he basically said that.
He was like, "Oh, well, I'm proud of him just as a father."
Yes.
Yeah.
Every single day, like, blah, blah, blah.
It was very sweet.
They portrayed him so positively.
They
I
did.
Loved him. It was shocking to see.
The only thing he's guilty of is loving his kids too much.
Yeah.
And if I had the money, I'd buy my kid an F1 team. Anyways.
I don't know. Maybe.
Leon does have a sister, Kim. She's very private. I don't know anything about her, and that's completely fine. I know she's married to a German field hockey player.
Heck yeah.
But they're very private, and I respect the heck out of it. He is engaged to Celeste Desjardins. She's a Canadian actress. Most notably...
She was in the show, right?
She was in the show.
She was funny.
Yeah. She was... Like, her biggest thing that she's been in was Taken, the series, not the movie that we watched. She's otherwise been in a lot of Hallmark-esque movies, like those vibes. But, she's funny, and they seem very happy. They got engaged in July of 2024, and her and Lauren are very much, like, besties, and I love it so much.
I just think it's so cute. I hope nothing ever comes in between them.
Me too. I said children. They have a dog named Bowie.
Heck yeah.
He has an Instagram account.
Lovely.
We love it. And now we're to Leon. He's a Scorpio.
Yeah, he is.
I thought that he might be a Libra because he's born October 27th. But no, he's a Scorpio. Born in Cologne, Germany. He played in the WHL, like junior hockey, for Prince Albert's. He played there for 2 seasons prior to the NHL draft. He also participated in World Juniors for Team Germany in 2013 and then was team captain in 2014.
Oh.
He was ejected from a game versus the U.S. and suspended for a game as well after an illegal hit from behind. It's so funny to me because he tallied 52 penalty minutes in 6 games. Now, that does include being ejected from a game and being out for one, but
I want to see that. I wonder if they filmed it.
I was searching for a video of it because I wanted to know who it was against because I was like, watch it be, Austin Matthews or someone. I couldn't find it anywhere, but I did find someone comment on a video about it. There's no room for play like this in modern NHL. Oh, well. Do you want to
look around, Bobs?
Well, this was also like 10 years ago that comment was made. So I'm like, oh, do you regret that one? Because he's
he's
not
getting ejected for dirty hits.
I know. It was just I was like,
Hee. Little do you know.
There's no room for this in the NHL. Girl, we made room.
Girl, we said get it together and come on overseas over here.
Yeah. So he was drafted 3rd overall in 2014 by the Edmonton Oilers, the highest drafted German player in NHL history.
And we love to see it.
There was a little like asterisk to this. There was a German player drafted first, but he was born in Germany and raised in Canada, so he it doesn't they don't count it.
Vibe.
Yeah. Number 1 in that draft was Eric Ekblad, and number 2 was Sam Reinhart. So
Sam.
Makes sense that he was 3rd. After playing just 37 games with the Oilers in the 14-15 season, the WHL team that he had been playing for actually traded for his rights. So he went back there. That was mainly done for 2 reasons. Number 1, it gave the Oilers an advantage they would have a longer time with him before he hit free agency because he wasn't playing NHL games.
Fair.
And number 2, the Prince Albert Raiders could use him to win a championship, which they did.
That's very savvy of them.
Yes, he went back and played 19 games, had 28 points, was MVP of the playoffs, and they won the 2015 WHL championship.
Yep.
That also led them to the 2015 Memorial Cup championship game, and he was named tournament MVP of that tournament as well. They did end up losing the game. So it kind of worked.
Their plan kind of worked. Their plan was smart.
They were playing chess.
There were some legs to that plan.
There was.
And they were trying to walk.
Yeah. At the start of the next season, he did play for the Oilers AHL team for 6 games before being called up. I think probably.
What season was that? The next season?
So the 2015-2016 season.
Okay.
Yeah, so this was technically his 2nd season in the NHL.
Okay. Now I'm back on track.
Yes. 6 games into the 2015-2016 season, he was called back up to the Oilers. Now, this was Connor McDavid's rookie season.
So they did meet initially.
Yes. He played 72 games with the Oilers and had 51 points.
Do you think that when Leon walked into the locker room and Connor's like taping his stick or whatever, like putting on his pads, he looked up, saw and was like, did we just become best friends? And Leon goes, yeah.
Yeah, except no words were said. It was all in
eye
eyes.
contact.
Yeah.
And it was all telepathic.
1,000%.
But everyone else in that locker room knew what had happened.
Yeah.
That's
they
how I
walked in,
it.
they made eye contact, everything in the room stopped, and everybody was just doing one of these.
Yeah. It's like 2 souls connecting.
Twin flames, if you will.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Platonic soulmates.
Platonic soulmates.
You can't convince me otherwise.
Yeah.
I will not hear it.
Yeah.
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 Okay. We've done such a good job.
Okay, we're logging back in.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Leon!
2016-2017 season. So his second, I would count his second full season.
Yeah, I think that's fine to say.
Yeah, because there was only 6 games in the AHL. We'll count it. He finished with 77 points, which is good for 82 games.
Yeah.
I mean, Connor's putting up over 100, but that's fine.
We can't compare other people to the top 3. They're not the same.
Okay, that's fair. The Oilers made the playoffs for the first time since 2006. We know this. It ended a 10-year playoff drought. Him and Connor McDavid, who was captain already at this point, became power duo. Leon led the Oilers in postseason scoring with 16 points in 13 games, including in the second round, Game 6 versus Anaheim. He had a hat trick.
Oh!
and 2 assists. So he actually had a 5-point game, the second youngest Oiler to ever do it.
Dude, I love it.
Do you know who the youngest one was?
Wayne Gretzky.
Yep.
What is Wayne Gretzky?
He signed an 8-year deal postseason. I didn't write down
So we got to keep him.
They said, you know what?
You know what? I think
I like this one.
I think you should stay for a little bit.
And he only got better from that point on. He was second in the league for goals in the 2018-19 season with 50. Ovechkin had 51.
That tracks.
He passed the 100-point mark. He had 105 points on the season. He still only got better. The 19-20 season, he led the NHL in points with 110 in just 71 games. Now, he's putting up a ton of assists. He had 67 assists, which, like, he's incredible. That's for sure.
Within his own right.
Like, he's good. That's for sure. But it also probably helps that if you pass the puck to McDavid, he's going to score. So, like, you're going to get an assist.
Yeah.
But together, like, they work so well together. I don't think you can credit all of that to McDavid at all. Sometimes you got to give a selfish to someone else. You got to let McDavid score and you take an assist. I think that's fine.
As long as you shoot the puck.
Yeah.
I'll be happy. Kind of.
Yeah. He also won the 2020 Art Ross, the third Oilers player to do it. Gretzky and McDavid had done it prior. He won the Hart and the Ted Lindsay that year as well. So that was really his year.
Yeah, he really did the damn thing.
The 2021-2022 season, he and McDavid became the first Edmonton line mates to both score 20 points individually. In the first 10 games alone, they did that. He ranked second in the NHL in goals with 55. Yes.
Can you imagine being good enough to be on the McDavid Draisaitl line?
No. I actually can't imagine being good enough. He did have an ankle injury pretty early into the 2022 playoffs that he just played through because, you know, they're all playing injured. And he set a record for 5 consecutive playoff games with at least 3 points, including a first-round win in 5 games to the Flames where he scored all 3.
Well, we don't like the Flames, so that makes it even sweeter.
Yeah.
He only needed one ankle anyways.
Yeah. He also broke the Battle of Alberta record, which is anytime Edmonton and Calgary play each other, for the most points in a series with 17 points in that series.
Yes, sir.
That is insane. And then last season, the Oilers made the finals for the first time since 2006. We know how that ended up. It makes me sad.
They should be very proud of themselves, though.
They
I
should.
hope now that like almost a year has gone by, they can reflect and be proud of themselves.
Yeah,
I'm proud of you.
I'm proud of them. He did sign a he did sign.
Yeah, he did.
He did sign a contract extension in September of 2024, 8 years, $112 million. That's why I'm like, I bet McDavid's will top that.
How much do you think McDavid's is going to be?
Like 113.
I was thinking 114.
Like just barely over. He reached the 900 point mark so far, the 900 point mark this season, and has 101 points so far this season.
Good Lord.
Which is insane. He is currently injured. That's all.
And scene.
And thanks so much for listening.
Did you have fun? Hope you had fun.
Yeah.
I love them.
I like them a lot too. I feel like most people know about them, but I don't know. I like rehashing the same thing.
I love to just rehash the same couple of
It's actually my
pieces.
favorite to rehash the same story over and over again.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, it's almost 2.
I know it is. Well, we restarted. And that, I mean, we tried to hang in there for like 30 minutes and we just couldn't get our shit together, so.
No, we couldn't. I feel better. I'm glad we restarted.
Yeah, me too. And you'll never know because you'll never see the unedited version.
I might edit in some pieces of it.
We're calling this episode our version. Who are we going to talk about next week?
We're going to do like a cozy episode next week because I have month end.
Okay. We will be cozy Ozy. Oh, with a bevy? Can we do it with a bevy?
Oh, we're going to be cozy Ozy with a bevy next week.
We're going to be cozying up with a bevy next week.
So go ahead and
or not
prepare.
watch, but talk about a movie.
Go ahead and prepare. Get your drink. Get a snack.
Get in your pajamas.
Get in your pajamas. It's going to be cozy ozy.
I'm going to say au revoir.
Goodbye. So long. Farewell.
How do you say, do we know how to say goodbye in German?
Auf Wiedersehen, goodbye. I was actually just singing the song.
Okay, bye.
Bye.